Sellers, let me explain something to you. For those of you who are planning on selling a home in 2024, you are in for a very, very big surprise. And for some of you, it's not going to be pleasant at all. Listen, what the mortgage rates have done to this housing market is going to blow your mind. More specifically to your property value. It's going to blow your mind because I'll let you in on the secret. Zillow and all of these online companies that claim that they know exactly what your home is worth, they're just guessing. And another inside secret from a realtor, all the other people on YouTube, they actually don't sell houses, which I'm actually dressed up. I'm actually selling this one, closing on this one today, selling it for somebody. Now, what they don't tell you is that those home estimates that they give you online, we actually set those as realtors. Isn't that amazing? But listen up. You're selling your house in 2024, you are in for a very, very big surprise. Now, let's talk about why. You already know that I like to jump straight into it. First thing is closing costs, right? Before, over the last 2 years or so, you used to be able to sell your house, I don't know, in a day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks. But because of the rise in mortgage interest rates, because of the economy, there aren't that many buyers out there, right? I know here in Metro Atlanta, we've probably seen a 30% decrease in the amount of homes that have actually sold year over year. And that 30% decrease has been going on for 2 years now. So the amount of homes, or should I say the amount of buyers, is so much less than what it was before. When you actually do sell a home, trust and believe, the buyers are going to ask for closing costs. And it's not going to be $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 worth, right? They're going to ask for $10,000, maybe even $15,000 worth of closing costs, depending on how much your home is worth. And that's just the beginning of it, all right? Closing costs, all right. That's a little bit to be expected. If you've been in the game long enough, you understand that closing costs are part of a sale. The buyer who's buying your house, especially with these high mortgage rates, they have to do mortgage interest rate buy downs in order to make it affordable for them, or sometimes even possible. But that's just the beginning. The next part is fees, right? So there are all different types of fees that you're going to end up paying as a seller when you're selling your house that people didn't have to pay for probably the last 2 years. First of all, let's look at things like inspections, right? So before, when inventory was nice and low, people used to be able to sell their house and people wouldn't ask for repairs. The reason why that buyers, I gotta dip this down here. The reason why that buyers wouldn't ask for repairs is simply because there were so few houses on the market. Competition was so stiff that, they would just be happy to get a house. Hey, we'll buy your house, no inspection period, we'll go over appraisal. And so now what's happening is that when people are actually buying homes just like these, right? And they get the inspection report back, what they're asking for is they're asking for all the repairs to be taking place, right? All of the repairs. And so not only as a seller, I love this little kitchenette down here, right? Nice size house. It's actually a 6-bedroom home on a fully finished basement. I'll let you comment below what you think this house is selling for. It's probably not as much as you think it is, right? Now, on top of people asking for repairs, right? Guess what? The repairs that the contractors have to do have also gone up due to inflation. So when you have the HVAC service, for example, Freon, it's more expensive than it was over the past 2 years. Even things like air filters, right? Hoses, connections, coils, parts that you need for the HVAC. Those are more expensive now than they have been over the last 2 years, adding to your bottom line, or should I say, taking away from what you're going to actually be profiting as a seller in 2024. And then on top of that, you have the fact that less homes are selling. Like I always talk about in all of my videos, real estate is supply and demand. How many homes are available compared to what or how many people are actually wanting to live in a certain area. And what we're seeing right now here in real estate, nice size closet here, this is all in the basement. What we're seeing right now in real estate is that because demand is so low, right? Talking about record lows here, that homes are taking longer to sell. And what does that mean? right? I just give you an example that I give all of my clients when I go on listing appointments, right? Let's just say you're buying apples, right? You go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's like my wife loves, and I'm a big fan of Trader Joe's myself now too. Those dumplings are off the chain. But let's just say, you know, they start labeling when fruits come out, right? When fruits actually hit the market. You got a fruit that came out today, same fruit, it's been on the market 2 weeks, been at the grocery store 2 weeks. Obviously, which one are you gonna be willing to pay more for? It's a no-brainer, except for if you're gonna use it for like compost or something like that. It's a no-brainer that you're gonna pay more for the fruit that just hit the market, right? It's fresher, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side, the one that has been sitting for 2 weeks, you're gonna wonder like, hey, why has that been sitting so long? Is something wrong with it? It's the same thing when it comes to real estate. And because properties aren't selling, because the buyer demand is extremely low, what you're having right now is a record level of price cuts. So that means if you're selling your home in 2024, there's a big chance that you're gonna end up cutting the price, which cuts into your bottom line once again. But before we continue going any further into the video, Genius Crew, it's your favorite time. You know what time it is. Drop the track. Welcome back to another video. It is the Market Genius, Mark Jenkins. I'm actually one of the people who's in the market, right? I've been selling homes for over half a decade, coming up on 7 years here in Metro Atlanta. So be sure to subscribe if you want to hear about real estate from somebody who's actually in the game, not somebody who just reads articles, not somebody who just talks reviews, right? I actually do this every single day, but I ain't gonna bore you. Let's keep going. So, new homes, right? Let's talk about brand new homes. See, if you're selling a house in 2024, guess who your biggest competition is going to be? Haha, the brand new homes, which actually aren't selling as well, but we just got news that new home starts unexpectedly rose to a 6-month high. Now, one of my favorite things in this home, before we get back to the new homes, this super oversized master bedroom. Probably can fit your whole family in here, depending on what size your family members are and how many you have in your family. But on a serious note, new home starts have risen to a 6-month high. So what does that mean for you if you're selling your house in 2024, right? Well, what that means is the builders, they have better incentives, lower interest rates, better warranties. They have almost everything that could be your home that is older, sometimes a couple decades older, right? And so that means that if you're competing against a brand new home, I mean, what would you do? If you had the choice to buy a new home or an older home and they were the same price, what would you go with? Obviously, that is a personal opinion type question, but for most buyers, right, especially if the land is about the same, you're going to end up going for the brand new home. That's another hurdle that you're going to have to cross if you are planning on selling a home in 2024. Now, I know I've been real heavy on the sellers, but if you're buying a home, just realize like the scales are definitely tipping in your favor. And by the way, Zillow, which is everybody's favorite search tool for finding out information about homes, shopping for homes, whatever, right? Zillow says that in 2024 is actually time for sellers to start competing for buyers. Wow. So that means that just like we talked about with the builders, that means that you've got to start providing incentives for buyers now, right? You've got to add closing costs. You've got to do all of the repairs. You may even get to the point where you actually have to start buying down buyers' interest rates for them to be able to come and get your home. Maybe you include a free trip to the Bahamas. I don't know. But here's the thing. When sellers have to start competing for buyers, the number one way that they're going to compete is price. They're going to say, all right, well, you're looking at that brand new house that's $550,000. Why not come get mine for $450 or $475, which eats into the profits once again. Now, I know everybody was super excited last week, or was it the week before last? Gosh, the time is moving so fast. Like ever since I became a father, everything just moves so much faster. But could be a couple weeks ago, could be last week, whatever, right? The point I'm trying to make is that everyone got super excited about the Federal Reserve getting ready to cut rates. And everybody said, oh my God, real estate is going to go berserk over the next year or so. The prices are going to go crazy. I remember I used to work for a team, and like really shortly, really brief, I regret it. But one of the things that they used to say is that, yeah, you got to buy a house now because when rates drop, the prices are going to shoot through the roof. Well, here's the thing, right? They've already started coming out with articles saying that the rates are actually moving sideways, okay? So with the drop that we saw over the past, couple of days, that actually could just be a consolidation, and rates could ultimately end up moving higher, or they might not drop as much as people are thinking. Another big hurdle for sellers, because if you're counting on, oh, honey, by the time the summer comes around, rates are going to be 4%. We're going to be able to sell our house for $600,000. You got another thing coming. You're going to be surprised. I can guarantee you that. And then on top of that, right, there are calls for the government to do something about housing. Listen, the reason why housing is where it is right now, with the prices, with the inventory, with the rates, all of the things that are the problems with housing right now, is because of the government. So if you are one of the people who are calling for the government to come in and solve this problem, you don't understand. There's a popular saying that I've heard before, is like, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. It's one of the worst things that you can hear, especially when it comes to housing. I promise you, if the government does anything about housing, they're going to mess it up. All right? And you're going to look back and say, man, I wish they would have just done nothing. Which is the way that some people feel about, what happened during the pandemic. Some people feel like they shouldn't have done anything. Some people feel like they did what they could do. Some people are excited about what they did. Which one are you? And to wrap it up, folks, man, they say that California is the leader of the nation. Whatever happens in Cali on the West Coast will be coming to the East. Well, the California housing market is collapsing right before our eyes. Places like San Francisco, down. Home prices are down 13%, right? There was an article I just read. Somebody bought a house 2015, or a condo 2015, for $450,000 or $415,000. I think it was $415,000, and they just sold it for $250,000. $200,000 loss. Yeah, that could be what's coming to a neighborhood near you. But we'll see what happens. Peace.